Just recently here in the past few days become aware of an individual that was hunting. He was archery hunting for elk, and he was backed up against a rock, and he heard a noise, and just then off to his side, coming around just off to the side of him, was a big sow grizzly and two full-grown cubs at 10 feet. Well, he fired a considerable number of rounds from a 10mm semi-auto, and the gun jammed twice.
After she charged him.
After she charged him, and anyway, the gun jammed, and he eventually got a shot in the head and did kill the bear. Well, the reason to me to talk about this, we've had a considerable number of people in the past few years that they're carrying a 10mm auto of some kind. Now, this is a very poor choice. It's not enough gun. Now, people have the idea that because of the number of rounds that it's capable of firing, that makes up for the energy and the penetration that's necessary to properly take one of these bears out in a real trying set of circumstances. Now, I want to emphasize that this is a very damn poor choice. And the better choice is a double action heavy caliber revolver, starting at a .44 Magnum with 300 grain, 320, 340 grain loads, wide flat nose loads, perhaps buffalo bore ammunition, 45 long Colt, the same type of ammunition, wide flat nose, hard cast bullets, 300, 320, 340 grain bullets, and a .480 Ruger with 400 grain bullets, not 325 grain bullets, and in no instance no jacketed bullets, hard cast, wide flat nose bullets. These bullets will penetrate the full length of one of these bear and do some damage. I did penetration tests quite a number of years ago with all three of these calibers plus another one, a .475 line ball, and I determined that the penetration was around 40 to 50% more with a 400 grain bullet out of a .480 Ruger traveling at 1160 feet a second. Same way with the .475 line ball, traveling even faster than that. But I don't recommend the faster speed. I recommend something around 1,200 feet a second, because I think that this is about the threshold of what you can handle, what anybody can handle. You need to know how the gun shoots, and it's important that you use this type of ammunition. Buffalo Bore sells ammunition that's capable of doing what needs to be done to kill a bear. A shot or two to kill a bear with the bullet placed in the right place. And of course there's the 500 line ball. I have no experience with that. However, I carry a .480 Ruger. They came with, I believe, 7.5-inch barrels. I bought it years ago, and as soon as I got it, I never even bothered to shoot it. I cut the barrel to 5 inches, because a long barrel gun like this is entirely wrong to be able to use to try to, defend yourself. It's unhandy to carry the length of the barrel and so forth. Something with barrels 3, 4, 5 inches long, right in that neighborhood. This is all you need. When you're going to be put in a situation that's going to be up close, this guy he was not by choice, but he was put in a situation that the barrel was automatically too damn close. I mean, he presented no threat to her. He was dead still there. And when she got his scent, she charged him. And she was in a complete rage, and she got a hold of his thigh. And this same fella had also some other encounters here just lately with grizzlies.
Last few years.
You know, the past several years. And yeah, there's an occasional situation where somebody does finally maybe kill the bear with one of these 10 millimeters. But it's not the choice, and you sure as hell don't want your gun to jam. And the reason that I recommend a double action, if that bear's got a hold of your head, you've got it in your hand. You've got it in your hand. You don't have to thumb a hammer like you do on a single action revolver. You can just pump that damn trigger, stick the damn thing in his ear hole while he's got a hold of your head, and just blow his frickin' brain pan out. You might be partly deaf, but you're better off than being dead. I have no patience whatsoever in the world for this bear situation. Every game department that's been involved, the Fish and Wildlife Service, and these people that have studied these bears and trapped these bears and moved these bears repeatedly have created all these problems. They are the reason why we have the problem. The Wyoming Game and Fish Department is one of the very worst. They move the bear all over, all the damn time. These bears were wild, the wildest creature in this part of the country when I was a young fella growing up. These bears never came around habitation. They didn't do these sort of things. They smelled something and whatnot. They didn't go on the attack mode. They heard something, they sighted something, or one thing or another, maybe horses' hooves on a trail, maybe a little bit of a breeze picked up your scent. It's rare that you ever saw a bear head on. You saw his butt, just a flash of his butt going the other damn direction, up the trail or wherever he was at. Where I live, these bears never came any closer than about 2 to 3 miles from any cabins, any lodges, camps, and one thing or another. Now, these bears had an uncanny knack of figuring out, a hunting camp back in the remote part of the country, and you're gone. If you're gone for about 3 days, that bear might wander in and demolish your camp. But this day and age, they'll come right in the middle of the day, come right up to your tent, try to attack you right in your tent, sitting there by your campfire, or whatever it might happen to be. These bears have an uncanny knack to come to a gunshot. 1 or 2 gunshots is a signal that it's dinner time. And they can home right in on the exact location where that shot was. They've got an uncanny ability to do this. And they'll come right to you when you're dressing out animals. Way before we had these problems, I always had a heavy loaded .44 Magnum when I was young, and a rifle. And when I killed something, my rifle was immediately right there, and the rifle was loaded when I was dressing something out. I'm talking about right here, within arm's reach, 3 feet away from me. Just reach and grab it. You see, I'd much rather have a rifle to have to kill a bear. But when you get in these close quarters, about all you have is perhaps a handgun for your self-defense. You have a right anywhere in this country to defend yourself against an attack by wild animals or a two-legged animal. And don't let anybody deny you that. Now I'm going to mention another thing or two. This guy was being worked on in the by the medical team. And the Game and Fish came right there and started questioning. This is entirely unacceptable, Mr. Game and Fish employee. You leave him alone. The doctor should have never allowed you in there. You need to stay away. You need to obey that man's rights.
Common courtesy.
Common courtesy. It's common courtesy and etiquette. You evidently have no damn common sense. Common sense has been bred out of you. If I ever get attacked, don't ever come to bother me when I'm being worked on, because you'll be run off. There's a time and there's a place, and it's not the place, mister, or miss, or missus, whoever you may be. I'm telling you right out. It's wrong. And this repeatedly goes on. It's bad enough that the individual was attacked by a wild animal and defended his life. And he killed the bear. The bear is more damn important than human beings to these game and fish people. You all need to get a life, a real life. And you need to figure out common sense, because it's been bred out of you in dumb school. That's the problem. Dumb school. This is where it's happened. And it's just absolutely infuriating that we have to read this information. Factual information of what these game departments have done. They've created the problem, and then they come to bother you right in your time of distress and everything else. Leave somebody alone. There's only a time and a place. You get it? But folks, be aware. Be aware, because these bear anymore will allow you to get within about 10 feet of them or so, and they'll charge you from 10 feet. 10 feet's not very far away. They know you're there. They've known you're there way before that. And the bear is going to charge you. Pay attention. Be aware. Could happen to any of us. It's never happened to me, but sometime it could happen to me. I don't know. If that day will ever be, maybe it won't. And neither do you. But be fully armed and know what your rights are, and you have a right to self-defense irregardless to defend your life. And you have a right to not be bothered in your time of distress. There's a time and a place. That's it.